The first question here states a card is drawn at random from a well shuffled pack of 52 cards. Okay, so one card is being drawn. Find the probability that it is. First question is a heart or a queen. Okay, and second question is neither a heart nor a queen. First of all, before getting into the question, if one card is being drawn from a pack of 52 cards, how many events that are mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely? And equally likely, how many? 52, right? Because it is equal to 52C1. You're picking out one card, right? Okay. Now we'll answer the first question. Now we'll do this problem in two ways. The first part I'll show you to you in two ways. Okay. One is by addition theorem and one is by without using the addition theorem. So that you understand how addition theorem works and how addition theorem is actually easier. Now if you see the first part, the question is find the probability that the card is a heart or a queen. Okay. So if I define the events, let us define the following events. First part is A, it's a heart. So you break this up into two events, card or a queen. This is a single event. You are breaking up into two events. The card is a heart, right? And B is the event. The card is a queen. Therefore, what is the given event? A union B is the given event, right? The card is a heart or a queen. This is the given event whose probability we need to find, right? We need to find P A union B, right? So from classical definition, how do you find P A union B? The card is a heart. How many hearts are there? 13 hearts, right? So 13C1, right? How many queens? There are 4 queens, but 13 heart contains 1 queen. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
so not 13C1. This should be simply 13. There are 13 hearts, and because this 13 heart contains 1 queen, so how many queens left? 3 queens left divided by 52. So your answer is 16 by 52, right? And you can cancel this with 4 by 13, right? Now we are going to solve the same problem by addition theorem alternatively, and this is way should be easier for you. Okay, now you see I have defined the event A as the card is a heart and the B as the card is a queen. So therefore, what should be PA? Probability of the event A. The card is a heart. How many hearts are there? There are 13 hearts, right?
13.
13
Yes,
by
sir.
52, isn't it? Fine.
Yes, sir.
And we can reduce this also. You can cancel this. I think 4 times, right? And what is the probability of the event B? The card is a queen. How many queens? 4 divided by 52. This is 13, right? Right. Now, what is A intersection B? Because now we are going to use, we have, what is the required probability here? PA union B. This is what we need to find, right? And from the addition theorem, what do we know? PA union B is equal to PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. Now see, we know PA, right? 1 by 4. We know PB also, 1 by 13. Do we know PA intersection B? We don't know. So let's find out PA intersection B. First of all, let's see what the event A intersection B here is. What is the event A intersection B? See the events. The card is a heart and the card is a queen. So if I introduce an and in between these two events, what will the event become? The card is a queen of heart, right? Is a queen of hearts, right? Check once again. Let me know whether you have understood. A and B. If the card is a heart and the card is a queen, that means the card is a queen of hearts. Right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what is the probability of A intersection B? How many queen of hearts? There's only one queen of hearts, right? So probability of A
Yes, sir.
intersection B is 1 by 52. Hence required probability is equal to PA union B is equal to PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. Right? Just put the values now. PA is 1/4. PB is 1 by 13. And PA intersection B is 1 by 52. Okay. Now you take the LCM and you're going to get 4 by 13. So you understood both ways of doing?
Yes, sir.
Which one is easier? The second one, right? You're breaking up into events and then you're working out the problem, right? Second one should be easier. In fact, for this problem, you may not also think that, fine, even if I do it the first way, what is the harm? See, that is not the point. The point here is that if in problems, if more events are there, like say 3 or 4 events, then what will you do? You will get confused with the events there. That is why in such problems, it is always advisable that you break it up into events based on the question. Okay. For example, look at the second question here. If you see the second question here is find the probability that it is neither a king nor a heart, right? Second one. Now I'm going to do this with the help of addition theorem. Okay, neither a king nor a heart. Can you tell me if I do it normally, what should be the answer? Neither a king nor a heart. Neither a king nor a heart is the complementary to what event? If I define the event, okay, let's do it both ways. Let us define the following events. A is the event I define as, what are the events here? A king, a heart. So I define the event as the card is a king, right? I define the event B as the card is a heart. So what is the event A union B? The card is a heart. The card is a king or a heart, right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. And what is A union B complement? The card is neither a king nor a heart. Yes. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, what is the probability of A union B? King. The card is a king or a heart. How many kings? How many hearts? There are 13 hearts, right? Which includes one king, right? King of hearts. How many king remaining? 3 kings remains. Divided by 52, right? So this is 16 by 52, which is again equal to 4 by 13. Therefore, what is the required probability? Required probability is this, right? Neither a king nor a heart. We have to find out the probability of this event. Therefore, required probability is PA union B complement. And what is PA union B complement? It is equal to 1 minus PA union B, right? From the definition of complementary events.
Yes, sir.
1 minus 4 by 13, which is equal to 13 minus 4 is how much? 9. 9 by 13. This is one way of doing. Addition theorem. How do we apply the addition theorem? Now see here, we have defined the events here, A, B. So A union B is the card is a king or a heart, right? Now, what is the probability of PA union B? PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. So here we know PA, here we know PB, right? What is PA here? The card is a king. How many kings? 4 divided by 30, 4 divided by 52, right? Which is equal to 1 by 13. What is PB? PB is equal to, the card is a heart. How many hearts? 13 hearts.
13.
Is equal to 1 by 4, right? Therefore, what is the event A intersection B? Now we have calculated PA, we have calculated PB. Now we need to calculate this one, PA intersection B. First, let us see what is this event, A intersection B. The event A and B are card is a king, card is a heart. So A and B means the card is a king of hearts, right?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, what is the probability? How many king of hearts?
1.
Only one. So it's equal to 1 by 52. Therefore, what is PA union B? Equal to PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. Put the values here, which is equal to 1 by 13 plus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 52. Okay, so this should come to 4 by 13, right? Now, what is the required probability? PA union B complement, right? Neither a king nor a heart. 1 minus P A union B, which is equal to 1 minus 4 by 13, which is equal to 9 by 13. See, both ways, either this way or that way. Okay, but you must understand the second way, because second way is most important. Addition, how to apply the addition theorem. Okay, can I move on to the next sum then?
Yes, sir.
You get used to applying the addition theorem, because more complex scenarios are going to come apart from this simple problem. This simple problem was just to demonstrate that how you are actually getting the addition theorem. This is, you can say, a kind of a deduction of the addition theorem. Look at the second problem. Second problem here is there are 4 events, E1, E2, E3, and E4, one of which must occur and no 2 of them can occur simultaneously. Okay, so E1, E2, E3, and E4 are any 3 events, any 4 events. Okay, and if you read the second part of the question, it states the odds are 2:5 in favor of E1, 3:4 in favor of E2, 1:3 in favor of E3. Find the odds against E4. This is the word you should mark, against. Okay, not odd in favor, it is odds against E4. Okay, okay, now let's see what is given. These 4 events, what are they? These 4 events are mutually exclusive, right? Because they cannot occur simultaneously, since E1, E2, E3, and E4 cannot occur together. They are mutually exclusive. That means if they are mutually exclusive, what can you say? You can say probability of the occurrence E1 union E2 union E3 union E4 is equal to sum of the individual probabilities, right? If you remember, I told you if they are mutually exclusive, you can add the probabilities, right? Also, what you see is one of which must occur. One of E1, E2, E3 must occur. So since one of E1, E2, E3, and E4 must occur, therefore E1 union E2 union E3 union, or let's say simply write mutually exhaustive. They are mutually exhaustive events. And what happens in case of mutually exhaustive events? The probability of the union must be equal to 1. Right? I told you in the beginning only. For mutually exclusive means you can add up the probabilities. For mutually exhaustive means the probability of their union is equal to 1. So therefore, from here, what can you say? If I call this 1, so from 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, what can you write? PE1 plus PE2 plus PE3 plus PE4 must be equal to 1,
Yes,
right?
sir.
You can write. Now see, the odds are 2:5 in favor of E1. So here, how much is PE1? Remember odds I explained to you? If the odds in favor of E1 is 2:5, so what should be PE1? 2 by 2 plus 5, right? How much is PE2? Odds in favor of E2 are 3:4. So 3 by 3 plus 4, 3 by 7, right? PE3,
Yes,
odds in favor of E3 is how much? 1:3. So 1 by 1 plus 3, which is equal to 1/4, right? So we know PE1, PE2, PE3. We can find PE4. Therefore,
yes, sir.
if I call this as 3 from 3, put the value of PE1, 2 by 7, put the value of PE2, 3 by 7, and put the value of PE3 also, which is 1 by 4. And we can find PE4, right? So therefore, you take the LCM of these three, you're going to get 27 by 28 plus PE4 is equal to 1. That means what is the probability of occurrence of E4? 1 minus 27 by 28, which is equal to 1 by 28, right? Now see the question here. What is the question? Find the odds against E4. How do you calculate the odds against E4? Because we have got PE4, we calculate PE4 bar, complementary event. 1 minus PE4 equal to 1 minus 1 by 28, which is equal to 27 by 28, right? Hence, odds against the occurrence, underline against, of E4 is given by PE4 bar, because we are calculating against, right? Is to PE4. Remember, I told you this in the beginning, how to calculate odds against or odds in favor. Right? So this comes to 27:1. Okay.
Yes, sir.
As long as you understand during the class, and as long as you are doing my problems, that shouldn't be, because my problems, whatever I have done here, I can rest assure you that if you do these set of problems, you master the entire book. Okay. And what I can also tell you is that all the HS students will also be puzzled by these questions somewhat. Okay. So my questions are very, very assorted questions. They are very, very selective questions. You do these questions, you'll be able to do each and every problem from the exercise. Next question. A card is drawn from a well shuffled pack of playing cards. What is the probability that it's either a spade or an ace or both? Okay. See the question here. Your event that you define must be based on the question that is given. See, find the probability that it is either a spade or an ace. So this event consists of two events. What are the two events? A spade or an ace. So we'll define two events. Let us define the following events. And we are going to do this by addition theorem. A is the event. The card is a spade. Right? First part of the question. B is the event. The card is an ace. Right? Now, what is A union B? This is the given question. The card is either a spade or an ace or both. So what do we have to find here? What do we have to find? PA union B, right? What is PA union B? From addition theorem?
Sir, PA plus PB.
Yes. From addition theorem, PA union B is PA plus PB. What else?
Sir, minus P intersection.
Minus PA intersection B. Right? So now here, what is PA? Let's call this 1. We are going to use this to find out PA union B. Now, what is PA here? Look at the event. The card is a spade. How many spades? How many spades? Kushi, tell me. How many? What is the probability of a spade? 13 by
13 by
52.
52.
Right? Okay, fine. So this is 1 by 4. PB, probability of an ace. How much?
4 by 52.
4 by 52. Okay. Now, what is the event A intersection B? What is the event? See the events. The card is a spade. The card is an ace. Yes, tell me.
A card of ace.
Card
Spade.
is an ace of spades. Ace of spades,
Ace
right?
of spade.
Okay. How many ace of spades? Only 1. So what is the probability of A intersection B? 1 by 52. Right? So from 1, what is the required probability? Put the values. PA is 1 by 4. PB is 1 by 13. And PA intersection B is 1 by 52. Right? Take the LCM. This should come to 4 by 13. Right? So I've made myself clear. This was very simple.
AA.
Okay, I think I got disconnected.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So I think till which part did you hear? Till which part did you miss? Tell me.
So we missed after a PB.
After PB. Okay. So
Yes.
PB is 1 by 13 because the card is an ace here, right? How many aces? 4. So PB is 4 by 52, 1 by 13. That is okay. Now look, A intersection B. As I said, A is the event card is a spade, B is the event card is an ace. So A intersection B will be, the card is an ace of spades. So what is the probability of ace of spades? When drawing one card, what is the probability of getting ace of spades? 1 by 52, because there is only one card,
Yes.
ace of spades. Hence, from addition theorem, that is from 1, you put the values here. We need to find PA intersection B. This is a required probability. PA union B, put the value of PA, which we have got as 1 by 4. Put the value of PB, which is 1 by 13, and put the value of PA intersection B. So you get 4 by 13. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this was an easy enough question, right? So we'll move on to the next problem here. I'm not sure how much time is left. So 2 unbiased dice are thrown. So what is should be a sample space? And so on till 6, right? How many events that are mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely? When 2 dice are thrown, how many events are mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely? Class 10 knowledge. Am I audible? Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You can. Okay. This is equal to 6 square, which is equal to 36, right? So if 2 dice are thrown, this is the number of events that are mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely. Okay, now see the question. Find the probability that the sum of the numbers obtained on the 2 dice is neither a multiple of 3 nor a multiple of 4. That means this event, neither a multiple of 3 nor a multiple of 4, can be broken up into 2 events, multiple of 3 and multiple of 4. So we define the following events. Let us define the following events. Okay, because the given question consists of 2 events connected by a NOR. That is why we define the event as a sum which is a multiple of 3 and we define the event B as a sum which is a multiple of 4, right? And what is A union B? What is A union B? Can you tell me? What is A union B?
Sir, a multiple of 3 and 4.
Or, not and. Because the
Okay,
union we
sir.
are talking about,
Okay, sir.
which is a multiple of 3 or 4, right? And what is A union B complement? A sum which is neither a multiple of 3 nor a multiple of 4.
Yes, sir.
So what do we have to find here? Just look at the events, read the question and tell me, what do we have to find here? What do we have to find here? PA union B complement, right? Look at the question. Neither a multiple of 3 nor a multiple of 4, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we have to find PA union B complement. But to find PA union B complement, I must find first PA union B, right? So let us proceed to find out PA union B. So what is PA union B? Addition theorem. PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. right? Now see, what is PA? See the event? A sum which is a multiple of 3. Let us first write the event here. Then we will calculate PA. What is A here? A sum which is a multiple of 3. How will you get multiples of 3? A sum which is a multiple of 3, you can get 1, 2, right? Sum 1 plus 2 is 3, which is a multiple of 3. Or 2, 1.
Yes, sir.
You can get 1, 5. You can get 5, 1. You can get 2, 4. You can get 4, 2. Right? You can get 3, 3. You can get 3, 6. You can get 6, 3. You can get 4, 5. You can get 5, 4. And you can get 6, 6.